This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
Tonight, we're getting new reaction to pro-Palestinian protests across the country. This follows a tense weekend at Washington University in St. Louis, where nearly 100 protesters were arrested. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. That number included many WashU students. Protests have been going on for more than a week now at dozens of campuses. This map shows where hundreds of arrests have happened so far.
Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, joins us from the newsroom. He has been working to find out if any of those demonstrators will be charged with crimes. Mark?
Yeah, Mike and Kelly, tonight we're learning more about the protesters' demands and the potential consequences they may face. First, on those consequences, the chancellor at WashU indicated he does want campus police to file papers seeking criminal charges with prosecutors, but campus police have not actually done that yet. If and when they do, those charges could land on either the desk of Wesley Bell, who's running for Congress against Cori Bush, or any trespassing or misdemeanor charges, misdemeanor assault charges could land in Clayton Municipal Court. We've asked for any copies of police body camera that may show evidence of some of those alleged assaults. The county likely won't release any of that video until after this investigation is over. Video does show police pushing to zip tie and physically remove demonstrators who were there with a long list of demands, including that WashU divest from any financial holdings it may have with Boeing, the local defense contractor that sells fighter jets and other parts to Israel. The chancellor at the university said, quote, "They did not leave voluntarily, so we made the decision to peaceably remove them. Unfortunately, they physically resisted."
What does free speech mean if free assembly isn't allowed? If free expression isn't allowed, and if free speech that is a little disruptive isn't allowed?
A very small cadre of student activists who are not representative of the whole student body that basically run the student union and basically have all of these like far left activist demands that are very disconnected from the student body itself.
If Wesley Bell decides to press criminal charges against any of these demonstrators, that would almost certainly raise the temperature on the already existing contentious divide over the government's response to Israel's war with Hamas. While Cori Bush has not yet joined any calls for Bell to drop those charges just yet, she did say online, quote, "Those in power who resort to violence and move to suppress academic freedom and dissent do so as an act of desperation," she said, because they see the tides turning and the growing movement of people demanding justice.
And we will continue to follow these protests on air, on the 5 on Your Side app, and online at ksdk.com. You can also watch the latest on the protests across the country tonight on NBC Nightly News. Week 2 of the Thomas Kinworthy murder trial began today in downtown St. Louis. Kinworthy is accused of shooting and killing St. Louis police officer Tamaris Bohannon in 2020. Dr. Patricia Zaff, a forensic psychologist, has been on the stand for 2 days. She's the defense's star witness and says Kinworthy should be found not guilty by reason of mental defect. Today, the prosecution tried to poke holes in her testimony. They say Kinworthy's mounting legal troubles made him suicidal and was hoping officers would fire back at him. Dr. Zaff disagreed.
I don't understand where you're making the connection for this being a suicide by cop. This is not a typical situation where he's calling the cops, he's luring them to this location. That is putting a lot of sort of rationality on a very irrational situation. I just don't see it. I'm sorry.
Kinworthy is also accused of shooting a homeless man and wounding another responding officer. The trial is scheduled to last through the end of this week.
A 15-year-old is recovering after being shot in the back in downtown St. Louis.
Today, police said the weekend shooting may have stemmed from an incident at a short-term rental. 5 on Your Side's Holden Kerwicki is live in the downtown West neighborhood. You have the latest on this investigation.
Well, Kelly, Mike, according to an SLMPD spokesperson, they've received 53 calls for service in the past year at this location along North 21st Street in downtown West. And after the latest incident, a number of residents are questioning whether the city needs further regulation of short-term rentals like Airbnbs. You may recall it was just last year that the city of St. Louis passed legislation cracking down on short-term rentals by requiring multiple night stays, capping the number of short-term rentals an individual can operate, and requiring rental owners to register with the city. That was after one person was killed and 11 others were wounded at a party at a downtown rental property. That program is supposed to launch by November of this year, but Alderman Rasheen Aldridge says it could be pushed into 2025 due to turnover in the city building department.
with the transaction of a new building commissioner, and we always said that it's probably going to take a year, which I know isn't helpful for most residents to hear, but it takes time to set up this infrastructure to make sure it's right.
The 15-year-old that was shot here over the weekend was treated for gunshot wounds to the back and shoulder. Police say at this time an investigation is ongoing. Reporting live in downtown West, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Crews believe a lightning strike caused a fire at a clock tower in St. Charles. This is at the Three Flags Center near Main Street and the Ameristar Casino. The building has many office and businesses. Luckily, no one was hurt and none of the businesses were damaged. While fire crews believe lightning caused it, they're still investigating the official cause.
Today, there were some issues with after-school transportation for students at St. Louis Public Schools. The district says a number of Missouri Central school bus drivers were absent. Because of this, they couldn't provide transportation for students involved in extracurricular activities. The Missouri Central School Bus Company has been under fire over the past few months. Earlier this year, many drivers called out sick, protesting how the company handled a racial issue. Last month, the school district said it will no longer work with the company after this summer. A contemporary rock and roll band is shining a spotlight on Belleville today.
Yeah, 5 on your side's Megan Kernan joins us in studio with how the group ended up in the Metro East town. Megan.
Mike and Kelly definitely brought some attention and rock and roll to Belleville today as Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats filmed a new music video in the area. It brought crews of dozens to North 11th Street near downtown Belleville. They started this morning and will be filming until after sunset. The band has previously performed on Saturday Night Live and opened for the Rolling Stones and Bob Dylan while on tour. They hired several local actors and production assistants to help with the music video as well. They all appreciate putting Belleville in the limelight.
It simply amazes me. I'm like, how of all places they picked here? This is like the last place I thought for sure, but they said they Googled it and this was the best area.
Now, Rateliff was born here in St. Louis and grew up in Herman, Missouri. The production company says he and his band really liked the traditional and nostalgic look of Belleville and decided that was going to be the backdrop of their new video.
Megan, thanks. Multiple law enforcement officers shot in North Carolina. What we're learning about the shooting tonight.
Weekend storms become deadly in parts of the country. How one couple's storm shelter almost killed them instead of saving them.
Automatic refunds for travelers. Tonight we verify what it takes for airline passengers to get one.
Yes, it's been a wild weather weekend across parts of the region, but we've escaped for the most part with pretty quiet conditions. Now we have the sunshine returning. Only thing you got to worry about heading into tomorrow is that tree pollen. It is on the high side, may have you sneezing.